Hi everyone! Today I'm going to teach you how to make an easy folded paper heart. This is what it looks like from the front. You can see that, and this is what it looks like from the back. Alright, let's get started. So all you're going to need in order to make the paper heart is a normal 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of printer paper. It can be whatever color you'd like. If you want a red heart, you can use some red paper. So if you saw the video about the jumping frog, we're going to start this heart out the exact same way, but I'll show you the steps anyway. So this part, we're going to just make some guidelines that we're going to use for our folding later. So you're going to take this corner of your paper, the upper right corner, and you're going to fold it over until it meets the left edge, and you're going to make a triangle. Like that. Here, I'm just gonna move this so I can make it a little easier. Just like that. And you're gonna fold down. Okay? So make sure that it's nice and straight and that you have this triangle like this. Okay? Then unfold your sheet of paper. And so now you should have a line going from that upper left corner to this edge. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to start with this corner and move it to this side. If it helps you, you can try to match this pointy corner here up with the end of the line that we just made. All right, and usually that'll match up nicely. So again, we're going to make a triangle with our paper and then just fold it down. Make sure that it's nice and flat. So I'm just going to smooth it out. Okay, now when we unfold, we're going to have a nice big X on our sheet of paper. All right, there it is. And so now we're going to put our finger right at the middle of the X, and we're going to fold it over, fold it in half, and we're going to make it so that the edges of the paper, this edge and this, or the corners of the paper, this corner and that corner, match up with the bottoms of the lines that we just made. So let's see what that looks like. All right, so that's that edge, and then on the other side, smooth that down. All right, so now we have an X with a big line through the middle of it, all right? In the origami frog video, I did it the exact same way, so if it's a little clearer in that video, you can watch the beginning of that. But now we're going to move on to the folding steps for our paper heart. Okay, so now to start our folding, we're going to also do the same thing with the jumping frog. We're going to take this line here, the one that goes from the center to the edge, and we're just going to fold it in the opposite direction. So like right now, it's kind of bending inwards, so we're going to try to fold it so that it bends outwards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And so when you do that, you'll see that it starts to come in and kind of make a little pocket, right? Like it kind of wants to do that, and that's good. That's what we want. So we're going to do that on that side, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So take this line, the straight line from the edge to the center, and fold it the opposite direction. Okay, and so now we're going to push both of those pockets in, and we're going to let them fall like that. And so we end up with this kind of a shape. And so now you're just going to fold it down. Smooth those edges out. All right, so now we have just like a big triangle again with these two pockets in the middle. Okay. All right, so now the next step here is we're going to take this edge, this point, and we're going to fold it so that it matches up with the top of our big triangle. So it's going to look like this. Let me just make that a little bit more even. Okay, all right. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side with this corner here. So I'm going to fold it up to meet that other one at the top of the big triangle. And so now we have this kind of shape, all right? So we've created kind of a diamond. All right, so now we're gonna take the bottom of our shape here, we're gonna look at this edge and we're gonna fold it inwards. So we're basically folding this triangle here in half down the middle. All right, so it's gonna look like this, all right? And just like with the frog, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit off, it'll still end up looking like a heart at the end. And so we just do the same thing we just did on the other side. So now we have this shape, okay? All right, next we're gonna take the bottom edge here and we're just gonna fold it so that it meets the bottom of our diamond, all right? So it's gonna look like this. All right. So now this is what our heart should look like so far. And these were actually all kind of the same steps that we used for our frog, but from this point on, it's gonna look different, okay? Okay, so now that we have this shape, we're going to flip it now, all right? So now this side is facing up. And what we're gonna do is, I'll show you from this angle. So we have these two flaps here, and then we also have this. So from this side, you're going to take this flap, the big triangle, and you're gonna fold it down so that you have a flat edge at the top here. And now those two flaps, these ones, are kind of exposed. All right, so that's what that looks like now, all right? The next step, well, so before we go on to the next step, you should notice that this triangle has these two pockets, right? Here's one pocket here, on the other side there's the other pocket. So we're gonna use those in this next step. So I'm gonna take this bottom corner here, let me show you this bottom corner here, and we're gonna fold it and tuck it into the pocket. So that way our heart will stay put. So we're gonna fold that down. And when you tuck it into the pocket, try to make sure that you have this straight line here going from here to, like, going from the bottom of the big triangle to the bottom of your paper. That'll just make the heart more even. So we're gonna do the same thing now on the other side with this corner. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna fold it into this pocket that we've made. Okay. And then I'm gonna smooth that edge down. And I'm gonna try to make this a point just like that, okay? And you can do some adjusting too if you want, but this is the bottom of our heart. So now there's this nice point here. Our edges are tucked into the triangle in the middle, and the bottom of our heart is all set, okay? So you can fold it down a little more if you want. It might help to like really crease it to make sure it lies flat, but we're done with that part. So now we're gonna move on to the top of our heart. So the top flaps here, there's not really like a good pocket that you can put them in necessarily. You can try, what I like to do is I'll fold it kind of like this to where I get the kind of heart shape that I want. So you kind of want the heart to have like a point at the top of it, right? And you also want to be able to tuck this flap into this part of the paper, okay? So I'm gonna do that on the other side too so you can see. And you want to try to make this side look the same as that side, all right? So I'm gonna do my best here to kind of eyeball it, just kind of guess at it. I think that's pretty good, and it's okay if it's not exact. So that's what our heart looks like now. It's kind of, you know, it's got a lot of lines and stuff, but if you flip it to the other side, there we go. I feel like that's a pretty nice looking heart. So you can color it in if you want, you can write a message on it, give it to somebody that you care about. But there we go, congratulations, you just made a paper heart.